We now have two areas to watch out in the tropical Atlantic for possible cyclone formation over the next 7 days. Severe weather is possible today through portions of the plains and upper Midwest, and the rest of September continues to look well above average temperature-wise for much of the lower 48. But don't worry, it does look like we'll enter a cooling trend as we get into October. It's September 16th, 2025. Let's get into the weather updates. We now have two areas of interest out in the tropical Atlantic, one with a 90% chance of cyclone formation in the next 7 days, and the other with a 20% chance, although I do expect this chance to increase. This area of low pressure out here specifically is looking impressive, and I would be surprised if we didn't at least have a tropical depression by the end of the day. Our models continue to see this strengthening into a potential major hurricane, but also they continue to see it just thrown out to sea, likely having no impact on the lower 48. We do have strong model consensus between the GFS and European model on this as well. As I said, severe weather is expected today through portions of the plains and upper Midwest. This does come with a 2% tornado risk through portions of northeastern Colorado and west and central Nebraska. Our storms out here in northeastern Colorado and western Nebraska do look to begin firing off as we get into the mid to late afternoon hours. And as you can see here, at least on the Rufus model, we do see a lot of supercell potential. So damaging wind, large hail, and tornadoes are definitely something that we're going to watch out for today. Make sure if you're out here, you have your weather alerts on. Right now, the timing for severe weather up through eastern South Dakota and portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin does look to be as we get into the early evening hours, and that severe threat will likely stick around through the late evening. A decent amount of instability is present out here, as I said, through portions of the plains and upper Midwest. So even if you're in the upper Midwest and you don't have that 2% TOR, you definitely want to have a way to receive alerts today. And wow, how long is this heat gonna stick around? Well, here is the main problem. Our jet stream is very far to the north, holding back all of that fall cooler air. Moving forward in time, we're not seeing any big dips in the jet stream. Portions of New England as we get into next week and potentially the Pacific Northwest may see a brief cool down. And we could see a couple of low pressure systems that do want to make their way through the plains and out through the Ohio Valley, although again, that would be a very brief cool down. What we are really waiting for is this big dip in the jet stream, which we do see at the end of our models. As you can see right here, this is what would allow a lot of that cold air to be injected down into the States. The good news is our Euro, GFS, and Canadian models all see this potential dip in the jet stream at the end of September and the beginning of October. We like when we have that model consensus because that gives us more confidence in that outlook. So I am still confident that this big cool down is coming for the beginning of October, and we actually may have a much chillier October than expected, especially for portions of the plains and out east. And we may even see some decent early season snow throughout the Rockies if this potential trough is amplified enough at the end of September. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, feel free to throw me a follow or sub. I make posts like this every day and I stream 5 days a week to try and answer all of your questions. I'll see you in the next video.